All right. Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I'm here with Clean Dave Jacobs III. What's going on?
Ain't nothing, man. Same old, each and every day.
Awesome. Well, I want to give you a proper introduction. First and foremost, Clean, all right? I mean, I wanted to know I guess, the nickname behind that, because you can't get a nickname Clean in boxing unless there's actual substance behind it. So how'd you get it, and pretty much who gave it to you?
Well, my grandmother gave me that name. When I was a baby, I had a bald head, and she called me Mr. Clean, and that's what it stuck with me ever since.
Awesome. And so for a lot of people who may have heard, the name, but aren't too familiar, obviously your dad is a former trainer who trained the likes of Sugar Ray Leonard, even Mike Tyson, and a lot of great other fighters. And you're the son of that legendary trainer. And so first and foremost, how did you stay in boxing? Because I know sometimes kids might be supportive of their father, but do something different. And obviously in this case, you decided to stay in the same role and do boxing.
Well, yeah, I love my dad a lot, so I kind of was around boxing a lot. And I just I didn't really want to box, but I just wanted to be around my father. But that's what he was into, you know what I'm saying? So he was giving a lot of energy towards other kids, and I was like, man, shoot, man, I'm gonna get some of this energy, you know what I'm saying? So eventually I started boxing. I was in and out of the sport, boxing, basketball, football. I dipped and dabbed in a lot of sports, but I really found my love for boxing. I got away from it for a while, in and out the military, working, got too involved with the streets, got in some trouble. Kind of came back to my roots once I get a little older, matured a lot, and got back to my roots and started training a little bit, giving back to the kids because I didn't want them to make some of the mistakes that I did. And Boogaloo Roach, Bernard Boogaloo Roach, him and I worked together at this building called DCRA at the time. And he used to always come down to my desk and always say, man, you're gonna help me come over here and help me train some of these kids. And I say, nah, man, I'm done. I'm done with it, because today's kids are different. They're a lot different than we were when we were coming up. And he kept asking me and kept asking me and kept. He said, man, just come over there one day, just look around. And I got stuck. I came over one day, man, and I looked around, and then that's where I've been, man, for going on 11 years now.
That's insane, and I know that your father, Dave Jacobs, is probably looking down and very impressed with a lot of the work that you've done, because now you've been working with a lot of the pros, a lot of the up-and-coming pros, but also one that's made a lot of waves recently with, Lamont Roach, and just kind of seeing the lineage, because obviously your dad's worked with top guys that was in mega fights, and so seeing how like you were able to be part and work with, Lamont Roach in that sense. I mean, is it kind of just surprising to you, or not, because of the fact that, you come from that school and was able to work with, the Roaches?
I'm gonna say it was a blessing. That's what I'm gonna say. A lot of times you don't get a chance to take the same ride as your dad. You know what I'm saying? And I know my dad, I'm just a smidget of what his accomplishments was. He did a lot of big things. But, just getting a taste of some of the things that he's done, a world championship, working with a dedicated young man as Lamont Roach. I call him Junior. It's been a blessing. You know what I'm saying? It's been a good, strong ride, man. You know what I'm saying? Lamont is dedicated, and I saw the dedication in him years ago. you know, and not only him, it's a lot of other fighters in here, young fighters in here that's pretty much dedicated. But it was something that I saw in him and something evidently he saw in myself. You know what I'm saying? And we clicked for such a long time, man. You know, he's like a son to me. You know what I'm saying? And I really I want to see him go further than he actually is right now today, because it's not over. You know what I'm saying? I done saw the maturity in him. I saw him grow. You know what I'm saying? To the fighter that he is today. And I deeply know that there's more to come.
You know, I know it's a plethora of topics that obviously I would bring up that Lamont can be part of, but just digging a little bit more into your background. I mean, were you always around your father when he was training? You know, like Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, during the Duran time, and obviously the Marvin Hagler fight. I know that, you know, Sugar Ray Leonard definitely asked your dad to be part of that, and they had a huge success obviously out of it, because he was looked as an underdog moving up, coming out of retirement, and was able to pull that win off. So were you able to, I guess, be a sponge and soak up some of the, either the training methods or just the tactics around those particular times?
Well, I was there. I was there. The homegrown training, man. You know, that was old school. Old school. A lot of young fighters today, they can't deal with the old school. It's some fighters, man, today that I know that they can't deal with old school training. Old school training, man, it'll never die. It'll never die. Did I see the workout sometime? Yeah. When Ray was training here on the East Coast, because, you know, he was that type of fighter, man, that he, you know, once that he got to finish training here, he'll end up going to his destination. He might be gone for about 3-4 weeks or so. And he really trained real hard, man. And that's, like I said, I've seen Ray when he was an amateur. You know, both of us was amateurs. I was like 8 years old, and he was a couple years older than me, or maybe 5 years older than me. But I've seen it. I've seen the training. I've seen the dedication to him. And he was just one of those fighters, man, that you knew that he was going to go straight up. He had the charisma. He had everything with himself, man. You know, they had the connections. You know, everything a fighter needed, he had. You know, he had the push, the drive. You know, a couple times, man, you know, I was told that he wanted to quit, you know, like most fighters. Some fighters get discouraged and then they want to, you know, walk away. But, you know, he's stuck in there, and it paid off for him.
Do you see any fighters in today that, you know, obviously, we say junior because you train and work with them, but that you see, or I guess that's a biased take, but I guess I'll let you answer. Do you see any fighters today that would be able to do the old school training?
I seen Junior do it. I seen him do it. You know what I'm saying? We first went, we went on a trip together for the Jamel Hearns fight. We went out to, what's that? Where Joe Diaz and them train, what part of California is that? It's in the Coachella. It's out that way. And we stayed out there for like a month. I mean, like a month, maybe a month and a half. But we were going back and forth out there. And I think that fight for Jamel Hearns fight, that was one of the hardest workouts that I ever seen him endure. He worked out very, very, very hard. He had other guys that he was out there working with. So, you know, they did long runs. He worked out hard in the gym, good sparring. And like I said, that was for like 4 weeks or so. And he was in great, great, great shape. And I know that he does old school training. You know, even when Boogaloo was alive, old school, you know. old school training. His dad, he gets him to the old school training also. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things in boxing that you just can't miss. You know, now they got this new thing with the strength and conditioning coaches, and you training like in the morning, train in the evening, but it's a lot of stuff that we keep molded here with old school training. And I know what Junior's capable of doing. When he set his mind, he's his own man now. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't really have to push him to do this and push him to do. He already know what he got to do. You know, and that's the thing about old school training. Once you grab onto it, you don't lose it. A lot of times, my dad and Ray, you know, they talk amongst themselves, and sometimes they be in the gym by themselves, and I'm sure that they done had a lot of conversations throughout the years that a lot of us don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? That he continued to give motivation. Dad was a good hands-on trainer, and he looked at all of his kids or men that came in the gym to train as his own kids. He treated all of them pretty much the same. You know what I'm saying? He trained hard, worked out hard every shoot. We used to run like 5 o'clock in the morning, man. You know, then come home and go to school. You know what I'm saying? So I know they had a lot of deep conversations. First, say what kind of conversations they had, I can't tell you, man. All I know is that I know they was pretty intense, motivational. You know, he gave motivation speeches to his fighters. He motivated. He was a hell of a trainer, man. You know, and he went. Man, I could say, man, that he really inspired not only Ray Leonard. You know, a lot of fighters they don't work. My dad worked with Aaron prior to. He had a chance to work with Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns came down and spent some weeks with us training with Ray. This was in the amateurs. You know, Mitchell Blood Green. He worked with the Spinks brothers on an international tournament. And everybody knows about Mike. You know, see, Dad and Don King was real close. And Don would send for him from time to time, you know, hey, come on down. You're not working. Come on down here and work. You know, Don always looked out for my father. So that's how he got with Mike, because, you know, when Mike came home, he was with Don, and my father got hooked up through Don. So, hey, man, it just takes me back, man. Just thinking about him, you know what I'm saying? You know, I lost my dad a couple years ago, and he wasn't able to see me get to this level with Lamont. And he told me, excuse me.
No worries.
He told me, cause I was ready, man. I was really ready to quit, man. I was like, man, this too much, man. I, you know, dealing with, you know, all these kids, dealing with different attitudes and stuff like that. And I went to him and I talked to him about it, and there he go with the motivation. He said, son, don't quit. He said, you never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna get out of this sport. And at that time, we hadn't crossed the path of getting a championship. We haven't even crossed that path with Jamil. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you know, my dad had passed before that fight. You know what I'm saying? So that sticks with me every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with back problems. I'm dealing with knee problems. But I find time to come in this gym, man, every day because of his motivational speech that he gave me that day. He said, don't quit. He said, you never know what you're going to get. A couple years later, we done won a world title. You know, a couple years later, we done fought Tank, one of the biggest fights in Lamont's career, you know, and there's more to come, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just devoted to give my time, man, you know. They're gonna have to carry me out this gym, man, you know? So, my dad, like I said, he was a very motivational coach. He got close to his fighters and always stayed in their ear, asking them, did they train it, did they run this morning and stuff like that. And by the way, a lot of times Dad made sure they ran. He will be out there with them. And that's what I believe in. I believe in that today. Oh, we running in the morning? Oh, okay, I'm going. I can't run with you, but I got a bike. I got an electric bike. I get on my electric bike while they run. Early in the morning. And then I turn around and go straight to work. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff that my dad did, it just stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep on doing this, man. Motivating some of these kids in here, man. And I sit right there by the ring. You see where I sit every day. But I can see everything going on in there. And all I gotta do is say a couple words. They hear my voice, they're gonna stop doing what they're doing and do exactly what I ask them to do. And all it is about giving the kids a little bit disciplining the kids and make them train, make them go to that limit of training a little bit harder each day, man. Because you got some of these kids, man, they really want to make it in the sport. But that's how the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Mike Tysons, that's how they got their start. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about that motivation. And that's what I try to always do, man. You know, be a motivation person and push the kids. You know, even pushing Lil Lamont. I give him a spoken to before every fight. You know, I always say a few words to him and tell him what I expect. You know, and he haven't let me down in a long time. You know, that fight with Jamel Hearn, I know we could have knocked him out. We just started slow. We started a little too slow.
Do you feel that even though that when your father wasn't able to see the world championship, that he knew in his heart that you would be part of your own lineage and being able to work with a team and kind of develop with fighters to be produced as a world champion and have great results against top guys? Like, because I know that he didn't get to see it, but outside of just being your father and encouraging, do you think in his heart that he knew that you were going to accomplish your own type of training sessions that will lead to helping the team become a world champion?
Well, you know, he, like I said, it was him, that word he said to me, don't quit. You know, don't quit, you don't know what you're gonna get. And I say, man, boxing has been good to me, man. You know, sure I work 2 other jobs, but boxing is really my love, man. You know, and what it does, it keeps me close to him. You know, every time that I go in the ring, and every time that we go to one of these big fights, you know, I always look up and I think about him. You know, not only him, you know, I think about Bernard, you know, because it was really those two that really, Bernard got me here and Dad kept me here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was training over at Palmer Park Gym, didn't work out over there, at Sugar Ray Leonard's gym, didn't work out over there. And they gave me open arms here, man. And and this is where I'm at. You know, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm gonna be until I say that's it.
Awesome. You know, there's some kids in here that they're turned pro and they've been fighting for a little bit that will be fighting coming up. The youngest, Jordan Roach, the brother of Lamont, and then Ben Johnson. What do you think about those two guys that are coming through the boxing rankings right now?
They can do anything they want to do. All they got to do, man, they just got to go through the steps. You know what I'm saying? Jordan, Ben, I've been around them since, like I said, 10 years. You know, I've been around them when they were young. Jordan probably was 10 when I came in here. Ben was like, I think Ben was like 8 or 9, something like that. I was here when Ben came. Those young men can be world champions. It's like I said, it's just the steps that they got to go through, and ain't no shortcuts. Ain't no shortcuts getting to the world title. You know what I'm saying? All they got to do is just go through the steps, man. You know, the opportunity. They're with a good team. They with people that care about them. We all like a big family, you know. The team hasn't switched up. The team haven't switched up, man, you know, in years. You know what I'm saying? At one time, it was just me and Coach Lamont. You know, we had other coaches here helping, but it was just me and Coach Lamont. And then once Coach Ben came on board, you know, it really gave us the nucleus that we needed. You know what I'm saying? And we still got Chris Ray, the cut man. He's still here with us. And then, like I said, the team never changed. We got Tim, Big Tim. He's back. Young Tim, Steve. We call him Colorado. The team haven't switched up, man. You know, like I said, we like one big happy family, man. You know, and a lot of times that's what the fighters need. And even getting back to Ben and Jordan, that's what they need. You know, a lot of times some fighters can't adjust to new trainers or new people that come in the gym. So you keep people around them, man, and make them comfortable. You know what I'm saying? To keep them comfortable and, you know, people that they don't mind training for. Oh, and I can't forget Coach D. Coach D, our strength and conditioning coach. It's all about, you know, continue to push. Every day ain't a good day. You know what I'm saying? In any sport, you know, every fighter don't have a good day. So even in sparring, you don't have a good day every day. You just gotta capitalize from it. You know what I'm saying? So Jordan and Ben, the sky's is the limit, man. If they stay healthy, they'll touch a world title.